Well, Leif and I would like to welcome you to our pre-camp leaders meeting video. We hope that you'll find this very informative. My name is Jody Orm. I'm the camp director up at Camp Loll. I've been there since a youth of 16, so the age of some of your young scouts that I imagine will be coming. I hope that you find it as magical as I have over the years as you come up and meet with us. And of course, Leif here can introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Leif and Leif Connor, and I've been coming to Camp Loll since I was also very young. My parents, Delos and Janice, directed Camp with Jody for about 40 years, and so we've really enjoyed spending our time there, growing up there. And we're very excited to be able to share camp with you this summer, whether you're coming for your first time or whether you're coming back over many summers. We are just excited to be with you at camp again and look forward to serving you.
Thanks, Leif. And as we were mentioning, we hope to cover a wide breadth of different questions and program items. And I want to let you know if there's a question that pops up or one that isn't adequately answered to your satisfaction. Leif and I will have our contact information. And of course, it's our desire that all questions are answered before you end up coming up. We also want to mention what our mission is. When we contemplate, Leif and I, the opportunities that we end up having to end up serving you and your youth and all the choices, of course, that one has during the summer. We're very humbled that you would come and choose to spend your time with us. And we want, of course, our goal is to make our summer, our week this summer, to be able to make it so that the rest of your weeks throughout your scouting program are more successful. We want to provide a smorgasbord, a feast of different program opportunities for youth of all ages and interests. And of course, it's also our goal to be able to help support the values of scouting, to end up creating an environment in which duty to God, service to country and others, fulfilling one's obligation to be strong, awake, and straight are something that's modeled in our program, but also in the staff that we end up providing for you. We know that as we strive to strengthen our units through the work that we end up doing, we strengthen scouting and, of course, each other. And so, again, these are all the exciting things that we hope to be able to get done in our week at camp.
All right, we're going to share some information now that you'll be able to find. As Jody mentioned, these things are available through our Leaders Guide and through the camp website. You can find the camp website at utahscouts.org/Loll, which you probably have already discovered. Here you'll find links to the things that we'll mention in the video, the bear safety video that we will mention, the links to the dietary needs request, and other information about camp. Here we also have the contact information. Jody's email is down in the lower right corner of this screen under Camp Loll Camp Director Jody Orm, and you can reach him through email, which will be a great way to communicate before camp. You'll also be able to see at the bottom of the screen the Leaders Guides. The 2024 Leaders Guide is updated there, and there's also information here about campsite maps, preparing for feminine hygiene at camp, and medical forms and other things that you'll need. So most of the information you'll need to prepare for camp, you're going to be able to find right here on our camp website. To get to Camp Loll is from Salt Lake City is as you can see, is between 5.5 6 hour drive to get to camp. And once you're traveling, you'll be on this road, which is known as the Ashton Flag Ranch Road, which Camp Loll is right in the middle of. The road it was only 47 miles, but you can see that the time is over 2 hours to travel that. This is not a road that you drive fast on. It is kept in pretty good condition by the Forest Service throughout the summer. They will usually grade it once during the summer, but it's narrow, winding, one-lane road, and you've got to be careful of horses and other things as you travel. So as you plan and travel, just be prepared for that. As we like to say as well, camp is in the middle of the wilderness, and that's just how you get there. And if this road were paved, then everyone would be there, and it wouldn't be the wilderness so much anymore. As you're driving down the road, you'll see a sign that says Camp Loll 2 and Crossroads of the West Council. That's the final turnoff that you'll be looking for, and 2 miles from that sign is where you'll find Camp Loll. So we look forward to seeing you when you get there. When we say the heart of the wilderness, this is what you can find. It's one of the dark areas, dark sky areas of the country, where you can see the Milky Way on a clear night without the moon's interference, and we often do. We look forward to being there at camp with you, and the arrival on camp happens on Monday morning. We'll be prepared for you to arrive as immediately after breakfast, up until about 1 o'clock, when we will be doing swim checks and getting camp set up and being ready for free time. Uh, as you arrive in camp, you'll have staff members eager waiting to join you and help in carrying equipment to the campsites. The trails, as you can see, to get to the campsites are rugged but safe. There are bridges and things that you'll cross as you get from camp to your campsite. Nothing is too far away from the lower parking lot, what we call the lower parking lot, where you unload your equipment, and most vehicles end up parking at the top of the hill after unloading. There's a room for a trailer or a vehicle for each campsite in the lower parking lot area. For those of you traveling a great distance, that arriving Monday morning isn't possible. We have an option for you to arrive on Sunday afternoon. We ask that you please arrive between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. This allows us to be prepared for you when you arrive, so that we'll be in place to greet you, help you find your campsite, help you to settle in, and um, the being in the forest where we are and being in the wilderness, our responsibility is immense to take care of that place. Camp Lowell has been around for more than 60 years, and we just have such a big responsibility to make sure that it's safe and cared for, and that we leave it in that condition for future generations as well. So that's why we emphasize being with you as you set up your camp, helping you to know where the uh, campsites are, the trails are, and everything, and also that we are eager to serve you. And so as you arrive during that time, it will allow us to be available to help in all those things, and to greet you. If you're arriving on Sunday, you'll need to prepare or provide for your own dinner on Sunday night, breakfast on Monday, and lunch on Monday. The commissary, which will serve all other meals during the week, will begin with Monday dinner. So that also means if you're arriving Monday morning, you should plan for a lunch uh, along with your arrival, that you should bring a lunch. As you're planning your meals, recognize that we're in bear country, and there's no way to get wasted food out of camp, and so please just be considering how to plan bear safe meals and things that will not produce a lot of waste. Um, all the food that you bring for those 3 meals will need to be kept in your trailer or a vehicle in the camp parking lot. So please also make for that preparation. And I did mention to avoid foods that make excessive odors or waste. So thank you for that planning. And it also is very helpful. And we'd ask if you'll at some point in your making your plans, if you're planning to arrive on Sunday, send an email to Jody, so that we'll be aware of those that are not arriving during our regular Monday arrival time. When you do arrive, the first people that you'll see along your road to Camp Lowell will be a couple of staff members at the upper parking lot. And this is a spot up on the hill above camp, about a half a mile's walk from camp, where most vehicles will be parked during the week. All the vehicles will be able to pass this point as they go down to unload, whether to drop off scouts or equipment. But then we'll need to return immediately up to the top of the hill to park. So you'll really just go down to unload, drop off the trailer, and bring all the vehicles back up to park. As you're doing that, you'll just want to make sure there's one adult leader that can bring the physicals into the to check in at the lodge. So usually the scoutmaster will do that. So if you'll need to make arrangements for parking of the vehicles so that you can come to check in, being checked in with and physicals turned in is the first step in making everything else happen during the day. So that needs to happen as quickly as possible as you arrive. So if you can be thinking about how you want to organize your leaders to be able to make that happen quickly, that will also be in your best interest. When you arrive in camp, you'll be able to go to your campsite. Things that will be there for you is you can see these canopies covering the picnic tables. The canopies were donated by one of our alumni, Dr. Steve Johnson, who made it possible for every campsite to have one of these canopies. We also have a campfire ring for you to have campfires in. So fires are generally allowed at Camp Loll. There will be a barrel there for putting out the fire, and picnic table, and also um, the bear boxes. And I'm going to turn over time to Jody now to explain bear boxes and the other things.
As Leif mentioned, we do live in bear country. Having the opportunity to be able to be tucked into a land nestled between Grand Teton National Park and also Yellowstone National Park is a great opportunity, but there's lots of wildlife. We do have bears in the area. They typically stay away, but of course that's because of the hard work that we go to give them nothing to be interested in when they come in. As you can see from the photograph, we have bear boxes. These bear boxes are designed to be able to hold smellables, things like toothpaste, deodorant, any food that is, again, between meals. One of the reasons why we offer our commissary program and require all of our groups to be on it is to minimize the amount of storage that's required in your campsite so that there's as little as possible in the campsite so it end up attracting a bear. And so not only that, but we have, and we'll go over these things. It's in the leader's guide. We'll talk to you about them as you arrive. A bear warden, again, proper garbage disposal. Many of these, this information can be found in the leader's guide. But we will be there to walk you through and keep you safe. These bear boxes have actually been certified. They're in West Yellowstone at the Black or Grizzly Bear Institute, Research Institute. 1 hour of complete contact time, making sure that a bear cannot get into them. And so again, as long as everything is in the box and the box is properly latched, in the event that a bear was to come in, they would find themselves very disappointed. And so again, these bear boxes will be provided in the campsites. Anything that you have that can't fit into the bear boxes needs to, of course, be in the in your vehicle or a hard-sided trailer in the island of the parking lot. Some of our groups like to bring coolers, which of course is entirely acceptable. You have to be aware, however, that all bear-safe coolers have certain protocols that make them defined as bear-safe. An example here, and this is actually going to be true on many brands of bear-safe coolers other than the Yeti, but notice the padlock that's latched there. There'll be another one on the other side. In order to be considered bear safe, most coolers actually are tested with the padlocks in place, which means that in order for the guarantee that a bear will find this cooler unable to, they won't be able to get into it, you need to provide locks. And they need to be secured anytime that you are not using the cooler. And so this, of course, is not a requirement. No groups need to feel like they have to run out and get a cooler to come to Camp Loll. That's one of the reasons why we're on the commissary program. But For those units who want to bring a cooler for whatever reason, just be aware that you're following the protocols to make sure that our coolers are safe and that the bears can't get into them. Also, make sure that you watch the bear safety video that was provided for us in conjunction with our Forest Service there. It's best to do that in a group so that you can answer questions and everyone has an opportunity to think. And again, the purpose behind the video isn't to make anyone afraid. Rather, it's to be prepared is someone's motto. And once we understand that we are in bear country, we can do the things that's necessary to keep ourselves safe. One of the things we follow to be prepared is the bear safety checklist, very similar to the fire warden that many of you might be familiar with, to make sure that there's someone responsible always to make sure we're following proper fire etiquette and protocols to keep our forest safe. The bear warden has this a similar function assigned by the senior patrol leader, that someone's in charge each day to make sure that at all times we're following bear safety protocols, that there's no smellables, that aren't locked up, that we're keeping a clean camp, that we understand and are properly using the wash stands that are in our area, and that the bear box is always latched. And so again, this is a wonderful opportunity to end up emphasizing the fact that when we follow rules, we can do things that we couldn't do otherwise. And so again, we look forward to educating and helping you be successful in these things as we spend this week in this beautiful, beautiful wilderness. I'd remind you to shift on that, again, the payments, anyone that's from the age of 11 to 18 will need to pay the program fee. Anyone that are 18 and up need to pay the leader's fee, of course, because everyone must pay for the meals that they'll be provided. Half the payment is due, as you can see here, by May 1st. So please make sure that you keep up on that. The rest is due 2 weeks before your camp date. And so I'd remind you also to make sure all participants, no matter how long they're planning on staying, has a completed copy of the BSA physical. That's the A and B, which is filled out by the participants and their parents, perhaps, and then a C, which is filled out and signed by a physician. And remember that that is something that needs to be, by the time the week ends, it can be no more than a year old. At the week's end must be up to date until the leaving of camp. I'd also remind all adult leaders, scoutmasters, that the BSA policy is that you have a plan in place for the storage and proper administration of any medications of your youth that are with you, that we are making sure that they are being followed, the prescriptions are, and that they're stored in a manner in which nobody who they are not prescribed to would have opportunities to get into them. I'd remind you also that we provide an opportunity for swim checks at camp for anyone who wants to participate in water activities. We will go over your physical by Monday and have opportunities to be able to participate in the swim check with the lifeguards down at the waterfront. If they're not taken on Monday, they can be done throughout the rest of the week during free time. But need to take the swim check while you're at camp, no matter the swimming proficiency at home or in a pool. It's kind of important when you're up at 7,000 feet in a mountain lake that we know that we can swim in a mountain lake. And so again, one of the wonderful program opportunities that we end up having, and of course, a very memorable and great activity to end up doing. And as I mentioned before, and as we're here in the video, the bear safety video, the link is there on the Camp Loll website. Make sure the group has an opportunity to take a look at that. I think this time I'll turn the time over to Leif to go over some of the other things we have, including how to feed yourselves. I mentioned the commissary. We'll go into some details here.
Thanks, Jody. The commissary is a beautiful place, and the camp, wonderful people there, eager to serve you throughout the day. As Jody mentioned, we have commissary. This is part of the interagency grizzly plan that we made with in agreement with the Forest Service and Park Service, that we would provide and store the food for all of our units in camp as a way of reducing the attractant for bears in our area, so that they won't have as much incentive to come to camp. The commissary is open daily. As we mentioned, it will begin Monday night, but you can pick up your breakfast, lunch, and dinner each day. and um, there, but the things that you should plan to bring for the commissary are the equipment you need to cook, the camp chef stoves, pots, pans, utensils, flatware, things that you'll use for cooking and eating. For washing your dishes, you'll want to make sure that you have that. The um, standard way to do that is to bring 3 wash basins, one that you can put soapy water in, one for rinsing, one for sanitizing. And um, the other things that you can that you'll be using in camp, garbage bags, paper towels, and such things that you'd be using. We do have things that we will give you in the campsite, the toilet paper. We'll also give you some standard supplies, peanut butter, jam, ketchup, mustard, syrup, cooking oil, salt and pepper, those things that you would need to use. Those are available in a crate that you pick up from the commissary at the beginning of the week. And anytime you need a refill, just bring it back and refill it. And then at the end of the week, we'll ask you to turn all those things back in at the commissary so they'll be refilled and cleaned and ready to give to the next group as they arrive. In the commissary, we can accommodate different dietary restrictions and allergies. We can accommodate vegetarians, vegans, and people with allergies to nuts, dairy, eggs, and wheat. We'll generally give a substitute for the main course for vegetarians or vegans, and also substitution if there are any allergens in the main course of the food. We cannot accommodate the soy allergies. And so we encourage those of you that have allergies that are not on the list of things that we can accommodate to make a plan to bring your own food. We can help with the storage of that food in the commissary. We can also talk with you prior to camp about that if there are concerns that you have, specific concerns. And one of the things that will help us plan is if you'll go on to the website and fill out the allergy and dietary restriction survey. And it's just a survey that looks like this. You tell what camp you're going to when you're arriving. We ask for at least 2 weeks prior to when you arrive in camp that you fill this out. That gives us time to make the plans and gather the supplies that we may need for that. We have in the leader's guide a suggested packing list for you to gather. This includes a list of things that will be provided. As I mentioned before, there would be a, a canopy for you and a picnic table. But if you want to bring other folding tables, as this troop has done, and they brought the stove here, they brought the Dutch ovens and the propane. Those are all things that they were provided by the troop. So review that list as with your troop and patrols and scouts so that they can be well prepared. As the motto says, to be prepared. Camp Loll in the middle of the woods. We usually have rain during the week, so that's something that you'll want to plan for. And we're grateful for that. That's one of the things that makes it possible for us to continue to have our program with campfires and the things that we have is that Camp Lowell is situated in a place where it gets plenty of rain. Also, in the early parts of the year, there are lots of bugs, mosquitoes, especially come out in the evenings and the mornings. So being prepared would also include plans for bugs and darkness, good flashlights, and jackets for cold evenings. So review the packing list, and as with anything, if there are questions that you would like to follow up on, you can email Jody with those questions. We do have a trading post to provide supplies for merit badges and also to provide something, a tangible memory for each scout coming to camp, something that they can take home and remind them of their time here at Camp Lowell. we have a staff of creative and intelligent people who have put together some things that they think would be meaningful, useful, helpful for you at the trading post. But it's a place where we would invite you to come and also get a treat. People would always say, "How much money should I send with my scout?" And we always say, "We will be happy to take all the money that you send with them." So just so you can be planning, there are t-shirts, there are other things that you can buy in the trading post. And we also have in camp some beautiful facilities. When you arrive, the showers won't be covered in snow as they are in this picture. They will be when we arrive. So this was probably taken at when the staff arrived to prepare camp. But there are, as you can see, 5 individual showers on this side of the building. There are 5 more on the other side. And troops will sign up for showers during the week for 2 shower times during the week, and then adult leaders will have a shower time available to them in the morning. And since they're individual stalls, they can be used privately. During the troop sign up time, though, we ask that two adult leaders will accompany the troop down to the shower to provide supervision and help to ensure that everyone is safe and using the showers and cleaning up after themselves. Our restrooms in camp are of a rustic variety. We like to think of Abraham Lincoln's experience when we go out into the forest and the training that he had to become such a great human being included using an outhouse. And so typically this is what you'll see, 1 or 2 sided outhouses. We have both varieties. There's a place there. We ask that you keep the toilet paper in your camp and not leave it in the outhouse because animals can walk right through that door and they will shred up and make a mess of the toilet paper. The last thing I'll cover before turning the time back over to Jody are the fishing regulations. And there are 2 different jurisdictions that you can fish in if you come to Camp Loll. As you can see it from this map, Camp Loll is right on the southern boundary of Yellowstone National Park. The 2 places that we recommend for fishing in camp are either Camp Loll at Lake of the Woods, which is in Wyoming. It requires a Wyoming fishing license for anyone that is over 14. Those can be purchased online prior to camp, or if you decide when you're at camp that you want to purchase a license, then you can talk to us and we can help you with that. Um, there there is in the lodge there is Wi-Fi for adult leaders. We do not give the Wi-Fi password to the youth, but that's provided through Starlink. And so using an adult leader's device or using a staff member's device, we can help you purchase a license if you decide to get one at camp. If you're fishing in Yellowstone, our recommended fishing spot is Beulah Lake. It's one of our Wednesday hikes, which we'll talk about throughout this video presentation. And when you get to camp, we'll review. The hike to Beulah Lake is 5 miles round trip. It can be taken on Wednesday as a troop, and you can fish in Beulah Lake. The Yellowstone fishing requires a permit for anyone 16 and older. And if there are only youth fishing, then it will require at least an adult to get the permit. And you can find that regulations and information on Yellowstone Park's website, which the link is available here. And these were the prices the most recent prices we gathered for the fishing license. And so you can see resident and non-resident. There are different, that's for the state of Wyoming. And for Yellowstone's permit, it's a 3-day permit. And the last time we checked, those 3-day permits were $40. And so Jody, I'm going to turn the time back to you.
Hey, thanks, Leif. Now, as you can see here, we've tried to put the whole week on one, what we call week at a glance. It's hope to organize and give you a sense of what we're doing and how we plan on getting it done. I want to mention, if I can draw your attention there, to our Wednesday line. Every day, pretty much from Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, repeats themselves. At least in the morning, different things each afternoon. But on Wednesday, I want to draw your attention to the fact that we, living where we do, have such a great opportunity to take hikes and practice the things that we talk about, being prepared, how to end up staying together, all the things that we skills we want to teach, we practice together on Wednesday. We have an opportunity for the whole camp to go out on adventures, hiking through Yellowstone National Park, the forest, and also some of our hikes take us into the Tetons. Something to be prepared for. We, in the leader's guide, on starting on page 7, there's a description of the hikes that we have to offer at camp. And we end up having a roundtable on Tuesday. We will start taking the what we call the hike plans from you after our rounds table on Tuesday. So you can let us know, after we've talked about it, which hike would best meet the needs and interests of your group. Different hikes require different equipment. Some hikes, so you'll be fording rivers, and you want river fording footwear. Of course, want day packs, a backpack. Again, plenty of water bottles to keep you going. Perhaps a water filter for emergencies. Of course, the thing that you'll be taking with you as well is a camp staff member to be your guide, who's been to the area and knows how to get you there and get you back again. Come prepared with rain gear in the event that get some rain. Nothing more wonderful for a troop to hike in the rain when they're well prepared and able to handle whatever nature ends up giving. Again, as we said, the hike descriptions can be found in the leader's guide starting on page 7. So that's something that'll be of a great interest to you. You leave, we'll provide a meal for you, a sack lunch as you're going out. So also want to mention the fact that we have opportunities to take merit badges while you're here with us at camp. How it works is that we have a morning, what we call morning, starting on Tuesday. But we also will have an opportunity on Wednesday to get a little taste with a quick little in the afternoon. But though you will sign up for 3 merit badges. This is something you can do on the website as you can start getting yourself prepared. Please don't be alarmed or anything. We do not ever close any of these classes in the event that we have more interest in one of the classes than what is allowed. If you put on a waiting list, by the time you get to camp, we'll make arrangements to make sure everyone gets the merit badges that they sign up for. There is a morning, as I said, class, and then starting in the afternoon, starting on Tuesday, we have something that's called free time or open programming time, opportunities to get another merit badge or 2 if that's something that you're interested in. They're 1 hour each, starting in the morning. In the afternoon, they go and take care of requirements as the time allows. Want to remind you of a couple things that if they're planning on taking merit badge classes, it's important that if they're taking any of the waterfront classes or the ranges, that would be the archery range or the rifle range, and that's also true for climbing, that they want to make sure they sign up for the morning class, since those other program areas will be open for free time participation, and so merit badge classes will not be offered at the waterfront nor in the ranges. But going down to those program areas and practicing our J stroke on the canoe, or shooting and practicing getting the targets in the archery range, the rifle range, would be very appropriate. Here we have some additional free time merit badges that are only offered during the afternoon. Again, starting on Tuesday, you see basketry down there through weather. There's also some requirements of some things here. You can see at the bottom of the leader's guide that mentions some things that you may want to consider either working on before you get to camp or being prepared to work on them afterwards, since due to the nature of the requirements, it's not possible to get them done in the week that we're together at camp. Starting again every afternoon as we start the open program time. There's also opportunities for your individuals that are still working on their tenderfoot, second and first class rank advancements. That's our trail to first class. In the leader's guide, you'll be able to see the requirements that we work on. This can be done in two different ways. It can be signed up as an entire class, and then your individuals that are working on rank advancements would go with other young people to work on requirements rather than merit badge requirements. These also are all operating during free time. And so they would show up and work on requirements. A paper very similar to what you see here on the screen will be delivered to you at the end of the week. So you'll be able to transfer those requirements from our page into the computer, into their merit badge book, or sorry, their scout handbook, however you end up doing it in your group. And so we hope to have opportunities for things to do from either your older ladies and gentlemen or the younger. Again, but trail to first class, a great opportunity to be able to work on rank advancements while you're here at camp. Also want to talk about the ACE program. Again, we have something for individuals still working on rank advancements. We also have program opportunities for individuals who are ready for a little bit more adventure. A stands for Advanced Camping Experience, rappelling and climbing, canoeing, and taking a tour of camp and going over ecology and again, the history of the area. Again, anyone that is 14 or up is invited to participate in the ACE program. Something they can also sign up for there as you're registering. Also an opportunity for your adults to go and to participate. They're probably 14 and up as well. And what a great way to spend either your morning time or your afternoon time. They will be running a program both during merit badge class time for individuals that are not signed up for merit badges that are 14 and up. Also something during free time. Again, as you come, we'll go over the different program opportunities you have there and what your interest levels are of your groups. We also have for you, again, opportunities for adults. We meet starting on Tuesday in what we call our chapel. At 11 o'clock, we have opportunities for roundtables for our adult leaders and also our scoutmasters. We also have trainings of safe swim defense, safety of float, as you can see here, climb on safety, leave no trace, trek, chainsaw safety. So if you have adult leaders that have the need for training certification, most of these are good for some of them a year, most of them 2 years. If you find that you're getting close to expiring, you can of course do it on the computer, but you can also do it with real people, with us, and we'll make sure that the trainings are gone over and are covered and get you the certification cards to keep you and your group safe as you're going along. We of course hope to see many of your adults at roundtable each day, but it is important that you plan on having some representation at every roundtable, because one of the things we go over in roundtable, of course, is important and pertinent information for the program as we roll out through the week to keep everybody aware of what's going on. And as we mentioned, places to sign up for activities like our second year camping rappel, and also, as we mentioned, training on the hiking and getting your hike plans out. So we hope to see many of you there at our roundtables. Next, we have camp inspections. We have an opportunity for us to be able to practice the patrol method. This is something that's conducted by your senior patrol leaders as well as our camp commissioners. A little opportunity to be able to make sure that we're safe, that we're following scouting principles and values and guidelines, but also I hope a fun way to be able to get our groups to be able to show off their skills and their organization. And so these take place each morning under the direction of our camp commissioners as well as through your senior patrol leaders. So something to be well aware of. And again, these groups look like they're having a great time in theirs. I imagine you will too. We also have free time activities, again, starting on Tuesday at 2:30. Opportunities to go to our many different program areas. And it's important to emphasize to your youth that they do not have to be in the rifle shooting merit badge to go and try out the 22s if they want to head down there and participate in an afternoon, that would be appropriate to do. They don't have to be taking a waterfront class to go and play around, starting at 2:30 again on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have opportunities to do many different things, and again, to provide the promise of a smorgasbord of program opportunities. So hope that you will enjoy that. We have boating, and of course, again, other waterfront activities down there. This is again a view of Lake of the Woods from up close to our campfire bowl of our sailboats that go out with our ACE, but also with our small boat sailing classes. And so, what a beautiful opportunity! And again, a beautiful just even to sit and look at our beautiful Lake of the Woods is something that we hope that you'll enjoy. As mentioned before, we also have opportunities for hiking. I mentioned on page 7, they begin, but here you can take a quick little look. All these hikes offer different destinations, obviously, but also different levels of preparedness, different skill levels. And so it's something to end up keeping in mind, and don't feel like you have to make decisions before you get there. Leif and I will be there on Tuesday to go over these things, but you will want to, again, be prepared. Some of our hikes are fairly long. As you can see, our Survey Peak hike and our Union Falls hike is, close to 18. By the time you're done, Union Falls can be actually a 20-mile hike. Survey Peak, a little shorter, but just as, if not more, physically demanding. These hikes would be something that one would have to prepare for well in advance because they are hikes that require individuals who are prepared. All these other hike destinations also go to beautiful places. It is our desire to help you to pick a place that you are prepared to go on. Some of these have limits on the number of people we can take on a day, and these are things, of course, we can go over during Roundtable on Tuesday to get you prepared. We also have, here's the last little list, because again, the list goes on. Beulah Lake, even some of these hikes actually require you to drive. Not all of them are destinations that begin and end at camp, but they hopefully all will end at camp. Some of them will require you to get in a vehicle and travel, and to increase the options of places you can end up going. In Beulah Lake, there's a flag ranch, canyon hike destination, also one that's called Hominy Peak. So many different choices, and all so beautiful. It's our goal to get you a place that meets your needs. And again, you'll have a great experience as you do something all together with your group. As you said, with hike preparation, there'll be river crossings for Union Falls, the Grassy Lake Dam hike, and also the Heritage hike. And so any group that's planning on going on any of those hikes will want to make sure that they have fording shoes, something that they're not planning on walking in. We have some sharp rocks sometimes in some of these rivers. And again, the thing you don't want to do is get yourself cut on your foot by fording a river without proper footwear. And so again, and water and again, a towel, swimsuits for some of our hike destinations. You have opportunities to swim at many of these places. Again, be prepared, and your groups will have a great time. Heading next here, we have an opportunity for overnight canoe. If this is not required by any of our groups, but if you want an adventure of paddling from one side of our lake to the other side, which is a little distance compared to some hikes, we go down after dinner is done and all cleaned up. You want to be on the water before 7:30 to make sure you have plenty of light to get you to the other end. We sleep and take our sleeping bags and any other gear. Come back before breakfast. So there's no need to store any smellable food down there on the other side of the lake, but we'll remind you, for groups that want to participate in this, you need to have 2 deep leadership. It's even possible to split your group if a group wants to stay back at camp and one wants to go on the other side of the lake, as long as we're always following the 2 deep leadership, that there is a two deep leadership on the overnight canoe as well as back in camp. That's something that's very possible. Safety afloat guidelines, of course, should be followed anytime that we're out there on the water. There's a sign up for this in the trading post, and they go out on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. So we spread ourselves out so everyone can end up participating. The highlight of many of our groups going down there on the other side of the lake. So again, something that's available to you if you're interested. I'm going to turn the time now over to Leif. You've been hearing from me long enough to go over some of our recognition items there. And so Leif, take it away.
Thanks, Jody. At camp, some of the things that we're excited to be able to give you to as mementos, as memories for things that you accomplish at camp. One is the Bull Moose Honor Ribbon. That's a ribbon that you earn as a troop throughout the week by completing activities together. Your senior patrol leader will work to keep track of the things that you do as a troop, and they'll give a list of 18 possible criteria that you can do, and if you complete at least 16 out of the 18, then you'll be awarded the Bull Moose Honor Ribbon at the end of the week. The Crossroads of the West Council developed last year what's called the Fellowship of the West. This is a recognition patch for scouts and leaders returning to camp year after year. And it's worn in the place of the temporary patch, like you can see I'm wearing mine. And the first year camper was one that people earned last year. So anyone that went to any of the 4 council scout camps last summer would have been able to earn the first year camper arc, and then the second year camper will be available to those this year. So we'll be making available first year to anyone that's new this year, second year to anyone returning. And this has a patch that hangs on your uniform, and then each year you earn one of these Velcro uh, attachments to recognize for each year. There also would be a participant patch that will be given at the end of the week. This is the one that we had from last summer, and we'll have a new patch this year for 2024, and we will hand those out on Friday at Roundtable, and then as a troop you can pass those out, have your senior patrol leader give those to scouts and adults at any point that you decide as with your group. So these are things that will help you to remember camp. And on the Fellowship of the West, Crossroads of the West patch, we attach a string that you can earn beads throughout the week. And so each of these beads represents an activity that you've done at camp. If you have a patch from last year, bring it back and there's room to put another string. I'm hoping to have 10 or 12 strings of beads on this patch before I finish. So we'll have that ability to help punch holes and add strings and add beads. And anyone that's new, we can supply for them the things that they'll need to participate in that program throughout the week as well. Every evening, there will be something for your troop to do. And this is our campfire bowl. As you can see, everyone in the camp gathers together on the first night of camp and the last night of camp. That'd be Monday night and Friday night. And we will have a performance. The staff will rehearse and perform for you an excellent show with fun songs, skits, patriotism, uplifting themes, reminding us of our duty to God and country, the Scout Oath and Law but also just a chance to really enjoy being together as scouts. Tuesday night, you'll have the opportunity to do a troop or intertroop activity. We would like to encourage you to begin thinking about what you'd like to do either with your group or that you could invite scouts and other troop to join with you for a time after dinner that would last for about 1 to 1.5 hours. And so we can plan those when we get to camp, we can arrange them. But you could also begin thinking now and making any plans or preparations you'd want to make for the Tuesday night, what we call troop and intertroop activity night. Your camp friends will be with you during that time. They can support your desires and activities and games, also helping to provide anything that you need during that time and being with you as a friend. On Wednesday night, there will be another campfire. Actually, there will be campfires throughout the camp. This one will be the show that you perform as scouts. So you'll perform a skit, song, a run-on in the Wednesday night, what we call the commissioner campfires, and then we'll be divided into commissioner areas for that Wednesday night program. Thursday night is our camp-wide games. We call the Highland Games, and Camp Loll, and all the camp will gather together in the Spruce Grove. We'll play so many fun games that your scouts will not be able to stop. They'll be having so much fun, but eventually they'll have to, because it will start to get dark, and we will have an honor trail as the evening winds down, where you'll take your scouts along with your troop friend on a hike through the forest, and that each of our commissioners will be there to meet you along the way and give a short inspirational message about one of the points of the scout oath. And after that, you'll return to camp. And Thursday night is a chance for you to reflect on what you've accomplished during the week. You can arrange for that kind of a reflection to take place. So we're so excited that each night we'll be able to do things together, either as troops or as an entire camp together. But there will always be an evening program that you can count on. I also forgot to mention Tuesday night, after the troop and intertroop activity night, we will have the Fellowship of the West, and also at Camp Loll we call the Fellowship of the Moose ceremony. And that will be an opportunity for us to honor your senior patrol leaders as leaders in camp. Well, this is the final slide, and I'm going to give the time back to Jody for the parting words. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Leif. As we come to the close of our information here in the video, I just want to mention what an honor, as we said at the beginning, it is to be a part of the BSA, to be part of your summer, of your scouting program. We are honored to give you this program and provide you with all the trained personnel, the lifeguards, the range safety officers, the equipment and trained individuals in CPR, individuals that have been on the hikes and are great hike guides, merit badge instructors, again, Fellowship of the Moose patches, Blue Moose honor ribbons, adult leader training, ammunition, bear boxes, showers, food services, and garbage disposal. All these are the things that, of course, are part of the program and the things that we do to keep ourselves safe. But I think the best thing that we have to give you, and I hope that you'll find it the same, is, as this picture illustrates, is a wonderful camp staff, individuals that are living, breathing billboards and advertise the Scout Oath and Scout Law, that emphasize what we hope all of our youth will grow up to be, individuals that believe in doing their duty to their God, serving their country, and of course, serving each other. And we'll do that through serving you. This is such an important it's such an important system that we're involved in, that believes in serving the youth and making, I hope, our world a better place. And we're so honored to be a part of this grand vision of scouting with you this summer. Again, if there's any questions that come up along the way, please look through the Leader's Guide, reach out to Leif and I. We look so forward to the summer that we'll spend together. And again, look forward to seeing you soon.